Hello, Texans, and welcome. We have a roundtable here, and we've debated on what we are going to talk about. At first, it was going to be a look back at 2021, but we said, you know what? That's so bad to look back. You want to look
13 losses.
forward. Yeah, 13 losses. You want to just say, let's turn the page, look forward. 2022, exciting schedule, new coaches. Let's see what happens in year two of the Caserio era. So here are some categories we've established, and we'll probably adjust these along the way. Let's go with players we're looking forward to seeing, and maybe rookies. Shall we do that, Drew, Johnny, Deepi? You think so?
Sure.
Please, people who were rookies this year, and I think there's one very obvious one, but Deepi, I'm going to allow you to start here and take that person or take another person if you like.
I mean, I'm going to take Davis Mills. I thought you were going to say pick a rookie that's not named Davis Mills, but we don't really have a lot of rookies, so that's limiting. So I'm going to take the obvious one. I thought Davis Mills, the way he ended the year, gave a lot of people hope. So much hope that now we're not even talking about quarterbacks in the draft. We're talking about all the other position groups. So I think with a full season under his belt, he wasn't even named the starter heading into week one, heading into OTAs and training camp to get all those reps and then see how well he does. I'm super excited. I know everybody is, but that's got to be the obvious choice for me, Davis Mills. So pumped to see him in year two.
Number one in the red zone, 8 touchdowns, no picks, not a big sample size, but that was notable to me that he put up that stat. Johnny, what do you have?
I'll take the road less traveled. I'll take Garrett Wallow, linebacker. I'll leave the higher ranked fly boys to the rest of you. If there's one thing that we saw with Garrett Wallow being on the field, it was speed. Now he's grown up in River Ridge. John Curtis, having played in New Orleans for Johnny Curtis there. He played at TCU for Gary Patterson. The guy knows defense. He's smart. But man, when you see him run and close on the football, my goodness. So linebacker core last year at training camp, I remember counting like, man, there are 7 vets in Garrett. And they were 7 vets. 6 of them came from different locations. And then Zach. Well, obviously we know what happened to Zach. So we don't know how that position is going to be situated this year. However, I think Garrett Wallow's got to play a role in it some way, shape, or form. I don't know if it's as a permanent starter in this defense, but I know he runs to the football like you want a 2022 NFL linebacker to run the football. We used to have guys like B-Mac and Cushing. Those guys are now outside linebackers or they're out of the league. You have to be able to fly. You have to be able to run, and Garrett Wallow can do that. So I'm going with Garrett Wallow to impact this defense. I'm really excited about what he can do. Even though he had the least amount of starts of all these rookies, Garrett Wallow is the guy that I'm most excited about going into 2022.
Nice, Drew.
He was a baller on special teams too. So those are both 2 good choices by the 2 of you. I'm going to go with Roy Lopez. He was somebody that we kind of fixated on here internally right after he was drafted, as we saw more about, oh, he's a wrestler. Oh, his dad is a high school head coach. Oh, he transferred and did this. Oh, we heard from Sean Cody, who called one of his games and played the same position, and he said he did. So we were kind of excited about him, and he was the last guy picked. And then all he does is come into camp, pretty much take a starting position starting in week 2 and do what you need the guy to do and a little bit more at a very thankless position there on the interior of the defensive line. And then kind of the cherry on top of it for me was he was the last player I interviewed for the player pregame show that we do on the radio. And also I do a Drew's Dozen with him. And he's just kind of really inspiring, talking about his journey and talking about how his family means so much to him and how he was, when he was succeeding, he was doing it for them and it made him feel so warm. And I kind of, almost had a tear tingle down to my eye, but he was talking about his goals for year 2. And if you listen to him, he hasn't even scratched the surface of what he believes he can be. So that's got me enthused because I thought he played at an above average level this year as a rookie. So I can't wait to see what he does in year 2.
I like that. And you know what that means? Because I have the pass catchers left as rookies. I've got Brevin Jordan, Nico Collins. Honorable mention, Jimmy Morrissey playing center as a guy they didn't draft, but he's a rookie, and we'll see what he can do. But I'll go with Nico. I mean, come on. Nico going into year 2, didn't play football in 2020 during the COVID year at Michigan, came in, did some things, no doubt about it. Play of the year I think this is my play of the year. And I don't even think we featured it in our video of plays of the year, which was the dagger that Davis Mills threw to Nico on that slant against the Chargers, because he audibled into it and he had a rookie snap on the ball, a rookie throwing the ball, a rookie catching the ball. Hail to the rookies. So Nico's my guy. All right, let's go with non-rookie you're excited to see next year. Now, some of the people aren't under contract. Maybe we can influence Nick Caserio to sign some of these guys. I don't know, but we do have the draft class from 2020. We do have some people to pick from that we are very confident are going to be around in 2022. You never know, but let's just hope. Deepi, what do you have? You go first.
Oh my gosh, I've got John Grenard.
Okay.
I love what he was able to do. He seemed really disappointed with year 2. Unfortunately for him, because I thought he really showed out in year 2 compared to his rookie year, where we weren't really sure what to make of him. But he really flourished moving up to the D line. He had 8 sacks. I know he was more disappointed that he didn't get to double-digit sacks, but he only played in like 12 games. I mean, he missed some games with injury, missed some games with COVID. He says he's going to work this offseason on his body, getting healthy, getting ready. He is so not satisfied with the stats that he's put up. And he's not satisfied with stats in general. He just wants to go out and win games. But the way he just conducts himself in press conferences and interviews, I felt like he really made a rookie jump there too. I mean, he was pretty good as a rookie, but every time he went to the podium, every time he talked, I mean, he's just very honest and open and Mr. Personality. I had a chance to interview him for the Deep Slant. He talked so much about his mom and where he's come from. He just seems so humble and appreciative and yet really likable and funny. So when a guy like that does well in the field, it's super exciting to see. And can I just add that he is going to be on Monday's episode of The Bachelor?
Oh, that's big.
Sir.
That's big. Didn't they shoot that a while back? And
They
we weren't
shot it a
supposed to
while
know about
back. He's not the
Okay.
only one. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say who the other person is, but John Grenard.
Did he get a rose or I don't even know?
Okay. He's not The Bachelor. He's
Okay.
just on the show.
I see.
Hey,
All
and
right.
also Kama Grugier Hill. I feel like I should throw him out there too. So
Okay.
Johnny watches The Bachelor. I know you two don't, but maybe that'll entice you to watch.
You guys should do a podcast on The Bachelor. Anyway, Johnny, what do you have in this category of players who
Oh,
are
we
not
will.
rookies likely to be back in 2022 that you're excited to see?
Okay, watch me destroy Deepi's thoughts of me. I did not watch 1 ounce of The Bachelor when my daughter and wife were in Los Angeles. So I don't know what that says about their influence on me or mine on them, but I didn't watch any of The Bachelorette recent season. I will sum up this person with, and if you think about it for a second, you realize, John's right. There is no more important person this offseason outside of Davis Mills from a player perspective than Titus Howard.
Ooh,
He stole yours, Drew.
a great one.
I think Titus Howard is the biggest domino of all to fall for this team, because you have to figure out what he is. Is he an interior offensive lineman? Is he a tackle? If he's a tackle, which side? And if he is the left side, then what happens to Laramie? As I said, the dominoes have to fall. And Titus Howard and the organization's evaluation of Titus Howard becomes that much more important. And it was very clear just watching Titus. PFF grades were like 20 something points different from guard to tackle, but you didn't even need that. You just needed to watch. And when you watch Titus at guard, you could tell not very comfortable. You get him out on tackle, out on the edge where he's used to playing. And I saw him after the Chargers game, and I looked at him. I said, just like riding a bike, huh? And he looked back at me and said, best grade I had all year. So Titus is very aware of it as well. He won't say it because he is a good teammate, trying to be a great teammate. He, I think, would love to play tackle. That then sets off dominoes for a lot of different things. Number one, what happens to Laramie? Number two, the strength of this draft is in the tackle position. So that then you look at the top of the draft, I have 4 offensive linemen in the top 10. 3 of them are tackle candidates. So from that perspective, Titus Howard carries a lot of importance this offseason and on into 2022.
What a great
It was
point.
great that he got to play so many different positions this year. I mean, the season itself was not great, but it was great for players because of COVID. You got to see them start in spots that you normally wouldn't have placed them in. So I feel like, to your point, Johnny, we were able to see him graded at the guard position at left tackle, obviously what he could do at right tackle the first 2 years. And now you kind of know what you have in him, I feel like, moving forward. And you're right. It's really
decision time is what it is. It's now decision time because for Titus, poor Titus, he played the very first game of his career at guard. Then he moved out to tackle in his rookie year. Then he got hurt after a good rookie year. He came back the next year. He's playing right tackle. And this year he moved into guard. I don't disagree with you, Deepi, that, hey, this year, yes, this was a great year to get a good look at everybody, to evaluate what you had, because as Nick Caserio said many times, this is going to be process over results. And so, yes, it's a year in a career. You don't ever want to waste a year in some sense. But this year was a great year to be able to look at players at various positions and then go into 2022 and decide what do you have, because you don't want to squelch the development of a young offensive lineman. And I feel over the years, there's one poster boy, if you will, for how development gets squelched when you keep moving him from position to position to position. That's Xavier Suafilo. Yeah. Now, Xavier's still in the league and he's playing well. But part of the reason he's playing well and has played well is because they stuck him at guard and left him. But he was moved from guard to tackle to guard to tackle. That eventually stunts the development of a player. And I don't want that to happen to Titus. I want him to find the right position for him to be a Texan. And then what are the dominoes that then have to fall after that decision is made?
Okay, Drew, what do you have for player returning that's not a rookie that you're excited to see in 2022?
I'll give you one, because Deepi and John took my two. And as a corollary to John's, let's ponder this for what we might see from Titus Howard. In all likelihood, we're seeing a new offensive system of sorts. How much does that accelerate his growth and the rest of the line's growth? Because I think you can argue over the last 6-7 years, we've not seen the best play from the offensive line. And I think it's largely in part to the system that's here. So keep that in mind. But give me some bang on special teams. My guy's Tremont Smith. What does he do with a full season as the lead dog on kickoff returns? What's he do there? So I'll go with him because, hey, that kickoff return for a touchdown turned the game around when he did that. And so much fun to see. Frank Ross I think he's cooking up something special with the special teams unit. And you saw some really good stuff in punt coverage with Cam Johnston, what he was doing and the guys around him, the gunners that, money aside, that's the reason he signed with Houston, was the enthusiasm about who was going to be down there covering punts. So Tremont Smith was one of those guys that did that, made open field tackles as a kickoff return coverage guy. So I want to see a little bit more from him and, a little bit more of what we saw this year.
Well, they're see him on offense too. Can we see him get a few more carries?
I'm cool with that. Weapon X.
I like that. I like that. Just throw that in every once in a while, because you force the opponent to at least think about preparing for it, and that might throw a wrench into their week that they didn't want to.
I mean, if teams aren't going to kick in the ball, put him back there.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chargers just weren't going to kick in the ball. I mean, after you'd run one back, they weren't going to kick in the ball. So go teach him toss sweep. That's what, the 49ers did that with Debo. They taught him toss sweep. Then it was, okay, well, here's another play. And before you know it, Debo's run for about 465 yards in addition to the receiving yards. So teams aren't going to kick in the ball, and he's that valuable. Put him back there. Let him see what he can do.
I love these guys around the league that are weapons, like Patterson and players like that, Laviska Shenault and Debo, and you can do different things with them. And go ahead, have at it. All right. My guy would be, look, you mentioned Grenard. Let's go back to that class of 2020 and go to Ross Blacklock, because I think that this was his rookie year. 2020 was just a throwaway year for so many guys. It was a terrible season. It was COVID. It was everything. At least you went through it. You got through it. You had a normal, quote, off season, but a new coaching staff coming in and a new system on defense. Now, you might have another new system on defense. We'll see how it goes with the new regime coming in. But I want to see Ross in year 3, which is kind of like a year 2. And I believe that you'll get some dividends paid. And I know that they're going to at least give him a shot here. There's so many other guys that had 1-year deals. You wonder if they're coming back. Guys that you want to see come back, you're not sure, because they have to agree. You have to agree. All of it has to happen. So I'll pick Ross right now. All right, next category here is we're going over things that we are looking forward to in 2022. Home games. All right, everybody gets to pick one home game. We don't know when the games are, but we know the opponents. And I'm going to change the order here. And we're going to go with Drew first here on home games you're looking forward to. Go ahead, Drew.
This is a tough one.
Ooh, is it? You get first pick in this draft.
That I want to see. Like, this is kind of what you were alluding to this at the outset. You know, we had some categories that were originally we were going to debate, and I was kind of the big sourpuss that was like, I don't want to see who's going to come in, you know. But I guess home games that I'm looking forward to. How about the Chiefs? You know, since they've been so, I don't want to do the Chiefs. Screw the Chiefs. I don't want to see the Chiefs here.
They're the Chiefs, Drew.
Nah, I really don't like seeing them because they're
they're really good. But
I'll go with the Titans. I like it when the Titans come to town because they are beatable, and I think the Texans can beat these guys. Didn't work out the way we liked the last 2 years. You know, 2 years ago it didn't count because we yanked our starters. We had just clinched the division, but I like it when the Titans come to town. I'm going. I liked
at least splitting with them this year.
Yeah,
Deepi, what do you have?
Oh, you know what? There's several home games that I'm excited about. So, I'm gonna say the Colts. The way their season ended.
Oh, so good.
Everyone is so high on the Colts. I know Mark is just so excited. I started watching Hard Knocks. I may watch it again because I have family in Indianapolis and they were just devastated, which was funny to me. I don't know why I grew up in Indianapolis, but it's funny now because, you know, everybody was so high on the Colts. No one wanted to play them in the playoffs. And then they lost the lowly Jaguars in the final game of the season. I mean, I felt like they thought they had a clear path. So I want to see them back. I don't know what's going to happen with their quarterback situation. I'd be shocked if it was Carson Wentz. It seemed like Chris Ballard wasn't too, he was kind of non-committal when asked about Carson Wentz being their starter for next year. So I'm very intrigued by who their starting quarterback is. And I feel like they're very beatable. They always seem like the Colts were this tough team that was hard to beat in recent years. I feel like it's beatable. And I feel like they're kind of down right now. I'm looking forward to seeing them at NRG Stadium, and it'll be a new quarterback too.
I'll tell you what, you know, those satisfying videos, and I mentioned this in a podcast with Johnny that you see on Twitter, satisfying videos. So satisfying to see the Patriots get blown out and the Cowboys lose. And to watch that Hard Knocks episode of the Colts losing was just so good, really. I mean, considering everything, you know, we've been through this year with 4-13 and everything, just difficult. But seeing those things happen really made me smile, and I needed a little pick me up. So that was good. I really appreciate that from the Colts and from the folks at Hard Knocks who captured the misery very well. Johnny, what do you have as a home game you're excited about in 2022?
Philadelphia Eagles. I like games in which you don't see teams in your building all that often, i.e. NFC teams. That's reason one. Reason two, their quarterback is from Channelview, just outside of Houston. So Houston represent with Jalen Hurts. Philadelphia Eagles, that's mine.
I'll go with the Washington. What are they going to be called team? Hasn't it leaked out yet? Isn't it like Commodores or the something or the Commanders? The what? The
Admirals.
The Space Cowboys?
Admirals is nautical. How can you do that, really? Right?
Aren't they going to be the same? Isn't there a good chance they just stay in the WFT?
I was like, what if it's the same?
WFT is too much like WTF. I don't know if that's going to work for them long term.
So it's for sure not going to be that.
Not the WFT.
No, it's not that. It's not that. The Red Hogs was out there. I was like, okay, but I guess
it's not it'd be fun. That.
It'd feel good for like a week, and then you'd say, well, wait a minute, we're the Red Hogs. This is not very good. But it'll be interesting to see them come in with their new name. Now, the last time Washington was here was 2014, Bill O'Brien's debut, and the Texans won that game. Jake Gruden was coaching Washington. He's been interviewing for offensive coordinator jobs.
Alfred Blue blocked a punt. Turn it for a score.
That was awesome. Clowney
got hurt. Knocked off the air due to a lightning storm.
Oh, and I lost my mind in the booth. I mean, that was not good. Not a good day. All right. So, Drew, are you going to poo-poo road games then? If I ask, like, what road games you're looking forward to? Are you going to, like, step all over that one?
I like the road trips. And for that, I choose Chicago. I just jump right in. I love going to Chicago. Don't give a rip about the game that's going on. I just think it's a fun city to visit. One of my best friends lives there. There's always something going on in Chicago. Up there with New York, where the Texans are also going. So I'm going with Chicago, though. That's mine. I love going there. I've only been there once, and the only time I went, 7-1 Texans against the 7-1 Bears. Sunday Night Football 2012. Houston won. One of the big wins that year.
Very nice win. Very nice trip indeed. Sunday Night Football. Johnny, what do you have?
Oh, come on, man. This one's easy.
Johnny's going to take my answer.
Yeah, you got to leave it for Deepi, Johnny.
No, go ahead,
All
Johnny.
right,
Anybody
okay.
can take it. I'm sorry, you
Okay.
can take it.
No. DP, go ahead. I'll follow you then. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just am so excited to see this new stadium in Las Vegas, everybody. That's really what I'm there to see. I love new construction, the fun atmosphere. No, I'm just kidding. I can't wait to. I think an NFL football game in Vegas would be exciting, even if we're the road team. I think that there will be so many traveling Texans. I've already heard people that I know that don't normally travel to Texans games talking about going to this game in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But what if it's in
About
Mexico
playing in Las
City?
Vegas.
No,
I
it
hope
can't
that
be
there's a
Mexico
bye
City.
week after it so that
Sure
we can hang out there for a little bit longer. But I mean, that might just be asking for too much. But I hope that we're on this road trip. I hope COVID's gone so we can travel and see the atmosphere firsthand.
I
Okay.
can't imagine them moving this one to Mexico City. And Drew's talking about.
I think it'd be in an AFC year where we have 9 home games. You know, they'd make
right.
one of those. That's what I think would happen.
AFC has
Bingo.
8 home games, and the
This year.
Raiders are in a brand new, highly revenue generating stadium. So they're not going to make them miss a home game like they did in 2016 when they were playing in the black hole, which was a black hole in more ways than one. I mean, the place was just a money pit, and they wanted to get out of there anyway. So they were more than happy to go to Mexico City at the time. And they have a ton of fans down there, but so do the Texans. And the Texans have it as one of their market area teams that's out of U.S. soil. So that's pretty cool. Eventually, and maybe it's next year, like 2023, that the Texans go to Mexico City. I don't think it's going to happen this year. Or they'll play an NFC opponent there. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, DP picked Vegas. Johnny, what do you have? Road game.
Okay. Both Drew and DP took very good ones. 2 of my favorite places. Yes, I was going to say Vegas, and then it hit me. Wait a second. The NFC East road trips this year should be 1 and 2.
Mhm.
And I'm leaving one, and I'm leaving this one for Mark. But I like going to MetLife. I know it's in Jersey. I like MetLife, but I like the fact that both times that we have been to play the Giants and the Jets, we got a chance to go into the city, see New York City, and then play the game the following day. We lost in 2014 to the Giants, won in 2018 against the Jets, but going back there is an opportunity to finally beat the Giants. I think, yeah, never beaten the Giants. Is that right, historian Vandermeer?
No, we beaten the Giants.
Okay, well, this will be an opportunity
Not there.
to beat the Giants in New York City.
Mhm.
Never know who we might be facing because their GM and head coach is still in flux at a minimum. And I don't think Daniel Jones will be the quarterback, so we'll see. But going to face the Giants on the road, I love it. The historian that I am, I wish we could play that game in Yankee Stadium, even if it's a new Yankee Stadium. But that said, I like MetLife. It's a great, great venue. I think that place gets loud even when it's not 100% filled. But we played them in 14. I didn't think it was a great Giants team, and that place was jam-packed. I love going to face the Giants. Leaving the final one for you, Mark, the very easy one.
Well, it's obviously Big D, where last time you were there, it was a sea of red, a sea of battle red. And look, I watched the Niners and Cowboys game, as did 42 million other people this weekend, and the Niners fans represented well. And they did that year. I want to say they played them the year the Texans played them as well in 2014 in Big D, and they had a ton of fans then as well as the Texans did. And it's just going to be, you talk about Vegas. For a traveling Texan, next year is location-wise as good as it gets. It's going to be phenomenal. Also, a trip to
Untouchable,
Miami.
yeah.
And I think that, the storylines are interesting because I can't name all the quarterbacks. Derek Carr will be back in Vegas, right? Should be.
Yes.
I mean, come on. Who are you going to get to replace him? But Chicago will be Fields probably. It's got to be by then, right? Otherwise, what'd you do that for? Although the regime is gone. The Giants, are they going to stick with Daniel Jones?
No.
Is Miami really sticking with Tua? You don't know that, right?
For now.
So there's some mystery there. And is Dallas sticking with Dak? Of course they are.
Yes.
All right. So final thoughts here. Anybody have a parting shot on the way out about anything in particular related to 2022? Who wants to go first? Jump ball.
I mean, I think it's interesting how many first-year head coaches will be facing again next year. I mean, we have this year and next year. I mean, you look at the schedule: Jacksonville,
Miami,
Giants. You've got Miami, Chicago.
Raiders.
Is Vegas?
Iffy because Bisaccia is interviewing, but he's not a lock at press time, as they would say in writer land, right, Drew? At press time. At record time. There you go. You guys have anything else to say about 2022?
Improvement. Looking forward to improvement. Texans will be better next year.
Johnny?
Just by how much?
Well, I spent 3 games in the driving rain all year. So the fact that we play Vegas inside, Indy inside is very pleasing to me. Dallas inside. I'll take as many games inside. And I actually was cheering really hard for the Bears to win the final game, Week 18 against the Vikings, because that would have meant Minnesota instead of Chicago, and Minnesota's inside. And we could have seen that skull chant, which is really, really scary. That said, I'll take 3 games inside, 3 out of 9 on the road. I'll take it. And the other thing we didn't talk about, obviously, preseason and training camp, whether there'll be joint practices or an opportunity for joint practices, which are always fun. In some respects to go. And there have been some fans that have made the trip to try and do some of that. So hopefully that'll be on the docket for 2022 as well.
I'll sign up for another trip to Green Bay right now, please. And another week up there like they had in 2019. That'd be cool. But in 2020, not game related, but I'm looking forward to a draft party. That'll be really nice. Get enough of COVID out of the way so you can have a draft party because you have the number 3 pick in the draft. At present time, you never know what they do. Thanks a lot, guys, for being on the call. Have a great day, everyone. Go Texans.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.